Hi, welcome to Narc Shield. My name is Jennifer and this is my first YouTube video. Thank you so much for stopping and checking this out. I'm super excited to finally be here. I started this channel, I put it up quite some time ago, but I haven't been able to really get a chance to get it going. So I don't know what I'm really doing, and I decided instead of putting it off more and more, I would just jump in and learn how to do it. And I'm certain that many YouTubers have done the same thing. I know that my channel is not going to be perfect right out the gate, but I'm really looking forward to just kind of learning with everybody else. And I have been watching YouTube for a really long time, and I definitely have some of my favorite people that I like to watch. At some point, I will be naming some of those people. But for now, I'm just super excited to be here. My channel is on narcissism or narcissistic relationships. So I talk about codependency and narcissistic personality disorder. I am a victim of narcissistic abuse, which is emotional abuse. And for the last 4 years, I've been bringing awareness in my area. I live in North Carolina, and it is something that I just feel really passionate about. I believed and still believe that the things that I have gone through in my life were for a reason. I do not have bad, horrible feelings. I went through something, I've made it through a lot of things, and I just feel that I was just meant to be one of many people who come and share their experiences and the knowledge that we have learned to help other people who may not know what's been going on with them. I certainly did not know for the longest time. I spent so much money in therapy and time, and I had a great therapist and everything, but it was this journey. I really just, I wanted answers because I personally, narcissistic type people, I was drawn to them and vice versa. And the dynamic doesn't really work that great. It does in the beginning, and I just didn't understand that. And not that I have always dated narcissistic people, narcissists, because I don't want people to get on this channel and be like, oh my gosh, that person was a narcissist and that's who she's talking about, because that's not the case. There will be people who know me here, and not everybody was a narcissist, but I'm definitely gonna be honest and say that I have in my past been super attracted to people with high narcissistic traits, and them being attracted to me as well. The relationship doesn't always work out, but I have to say that it starts out fantastic and it ends in a big boom crash. So it hurts. It hurts a lot. It's a very serious thing, narcissistic abuse, and it's not just in romantic relationships. And so I want to bring awareness because I'm seeing this, you're seeing it, lots of people are seeing it and don't even recognize it because they don't realize what's actually happening. Emotional abuse is insidious. It starts out really slow, and before you know it, it's this big drama chaos thing. And you're basically groomed by narcissistic people. And if you don't know what you're looking for, you can be in the work environment or in a romantic relationship or in your family, have family members be at the Christmas table and not understand why the dynamic sparks are always coming, or why you're feeling on edge all the time, like you're walking on eggshells, is what a lot of people talk about. Why you're being triggered all the time, why you're getting upset, or you're crying or mad or feeling isolated. There's so many different things that come with emotional abuse, and it's extremely hard to explain because the wounds are not shown. It's not like in domestic violence, when people can see bruises or scratches or scars that way. They're inside, they're your heart, they're deep, deep wounds, and the scars can last a lifetime. But there are ways to get through it once you know, and it can be quite liberating, freeing to finally know what it is. And so I'm hoping to enlighten you. I want to bring awareness for people that are supporters of people who are going through emotional abuse. I would like to bring awareness to people who are actually victims and going through it themselves. It is very isolating and can feel quite lonely, and many people commit suicide. It is really sad. It is so sad. And I don't want people to feel like that. I don't want people to feel like they don't have anybody to talk to. So I'm super nervous. I feel extremely vulnerable. But I felt lonely one time, 10 times. I have been that person that felt like I couldn't talk to anybody, and I felt like nobody understood what I was trying to explain. And I isolated myself. I felt very alone and very sad. And sometimes I felt crazy. Sometimes I think I was going crazy. And I had nobody to really talk to. I had friends and family, and I still do, but they just didn't understand. And unfortunately, they didn't know how to support me, and sometimes were re-victimizing me. So I just feel like it's really important to come here and help supporters understand, if I can, in my way. Everybody connects with people differently. There's lots of people on YouTube that talk about narcissistic abuse, and there's some really great YouTubers here. I just love them to death. And so I've connected with some, and you may connect with others, or you may connect with me. I hope you do, because I really want you to know that you're not alone. That is my biggest thing. I don't want victims of narcissistic abuse to feel alone. I don't want them to want to feel like if they just weren't here, things would be better, or if I just went to sleep and didn't wake up tomorrow. I'm so tired. If I could just make the pain stop and go to sleep and just not wake up, or go to bed at night. Like I used to go to bed at night, and I would say, "Dear God, when will I go to bed at night without crying? And when will I wake up without crying? I just want to go to bed without crying, and I want to wake up without crying." I'm not going to edit this video, by the way, because I want to roll with it, and I want it to be real. I'm super nervous. I've done a podcast. I have a podcast station. It's off the cuff, and I just do better. I feel like there. It's feels really vulnerable to be where people can see me, but I feel like maybe people will connect a little bit more, and you won't feel alone. Like if you don't have a friend that you can talk to, there'll be times where you don't, or people are just sick of hearing it, because we tend to go back and back and back, and we're talking about it all the time. And people can be like, "Well, you're not doing anything about it. I'm tired of hearing it. Just get out, or just get over it," that kind of thing, if you've been discarded. So there are lots of things that we're going to be talking about through this journey together. And you will hopefully be able to shine again. If you are in a really dark space right now, I promise you can come through to the other side. I swear, I promise you. Just hang tight. You're not alone. I am here for you, and there's so many other people here on YouTube, and people are starting to talk about emotional abuse a lot more in other countries. It is a crime. It's not here yet, but we're working on that, right? So we're going to bring awareness. World Narcissistic Abuse Awareness Day is on June 1st. I usually talk a lot on my Facebook on social media than about narcissistic abuse. And but this is just another outlet. So thank you so much for being here, and I'm super happy to be able to do this. And I am in a different place, but I promise you, I have been in dark spots, and I will talk about some of those times. I will share, because as nervous as it makes me to do that, because I don't want people to be guessing who these people are that did that to me. I know people are judgmental, and there are people that like to gossip and that kind of thing. And I think that's rude, and it is not what I'm about here. And basically, I haven't always been with narcissistic people, so I think it's really rude to try to guess at who it is. I certainly have cared for everybody I've ever been with. I am not someone who speaks on narcissistic or speaks about narcissistic personality disordered people that hates them. There are people that will be like that when they talk about it, because they are just so angry and going through their own process. And we all handle, our journeys are all different. And I certainly understand the people that feel that way. I just don't hate anybody I just don't hate anybody. I care about everybody. And narcissistic people, they have had their own abuse in their life. And so I certainly care. And so I am not here to be mean, but I am here to give the information so that people who are in these relationships can get out and get the help. We have people fighting in custody battles in our judicial systems that go on and on and on when you have a narcissistic person and a codependent person. And a narcissist will use the system to abuse the victim over and over and over again. And they will use the kids, they will drag everything out, and they will smear the victim in any way they possibly can and try to drain their pockets just to win. It's all about winning to the narcissist. So we have that problem in our judicial systems. In our school systems, we have children that are being bullied. They're committing suicide because they're being bullied, and they don't know how to express their feelings and what's going on with them. And unfortunately, it is so bad that they feel they have to take their own lives. That is not okay. And I want those people to know that we do care, and there are people that understand. And also the people that are doing it to understand that this is not okay. It is not okay to emotionally abuse people to the point, it's not okay at all. But for kids to be killing themselves, anybody to be killing themselves. In our work environments, if you are working in a company and you are working with people that are narcissistic, or even your bosses, in our churches, we can come across, they are everywhere. Codependents and narcissistic people are everywhere. And in our friendships, in our romantic partners, it's everywhere. So if you are someone who is an empathic person, a codependent person, I want you to know that you are prime prey for the narcissistic person, because they are attracted to your good traits. And I will explain as this channel goes on the traits that the codependent and the empathic person has. And I will explain with the narcissistic type personality traits that they have and the ones that they don't have, and why it's so important that they be with someone who has the traits that they don't have, and why they hang around people even that have those traits. They will also hang out with people that are a lot like them, but I will explain all of that too. It's always a reason. So I will explain that as we go on, but I'm just trying to just touch a little bit so that I kind of introduce the channel. So I really will be speaking a lot. You will hear me talk all the time about trauma bonds. It is extremely important for victims to understand that you have been trauma bonded, you have been conditioned, and I will talk about it so much ad nauseum because it's something that we have to understand. You will ask yourself, if you haven't already, people will ask, why do you keep going back? You don't know how to answer that. You can be super strong you can be like 30 minutes and be like, I'm so done. I'm never going to go back. I swear I'm never going to go back. I'm never going to talk to this person again. I'm never going to work with them again. I'm never whatever relationship it is. And 2 hours later, you are wanting to call or you're wanting to text and you're wanting to get answers. And the narcissist is never going to give you the answers that you want. You're never going to get the closure that you need. You are going to be smeared. You will have gone through silent treatments. There are so many things that we're going to talk about on this channel. I will explain them all. I'm not going to do all of that tonight, but I will pick different topics and we'll talk on them when I come back. I do kind of bounce around a lot, so I hope you'll have patience with me because I just want to be me. And so, yeah, I'm kind of all over the place, but I will be picking different topics and going on them. And trauma bonds is something that I definitely want the supporters and the victims to really understand. So it might be one of the things that I explain first, because if you can't heal the trauma bond, you won't get over this. It is something that this is one of the hardest things to go through. It is so painful. It is so hard to express the pain that you are going through. It is an addiction to a person. And so it is like people who have been addicted to heroin. And so when you are in the highs and the great times with a narcissistic person, you have all this dopamine being dumped into your system and it feels so fantastic and magical. And when they are pulling back or discarding you, giving you the silent treatment, being mean to you, whatever it is, all the cortisol and all the bad things are being dumped into you, and it is like a major crash. It feels so horrible. It feels so bad that you just want to feel better. So you are conditioned to work harder for the narcissist. You will beg, you will plead, you will do anything to feel better. You just want to feel better. So you go back to that hit, and your hit is like it's like a drug, is the narcissist. And you will feel awful, and your friends and your family may be like completely flustered, and I don't understand why you would do that if this person treats you so bad. So people will even say things like that. Well, if they treat you so bad, why would they have stayed? They just make this up. They're the crazy one. Because I promise you, in a toxic relationship, they will spin the traits. They know exactly what they're doing, and they have the time and the patience to do it. And they will beat you down over time, and they want you to react. They want you to become basically miserable like them and to react so that they can feel better about themselves, and they can point the finger at you and say to other people, she or he's the crazy one. Look at how they're acting. And most of the time, pretty much every relationship is the same. They say that about all of their relationships at some point. They're not really good with interpersonal relationships. And so we will talk about a lot of that on this channel. And let's see, this is a big one. As a victim, you will question yourself. Am I the narcissist? And that's why, because they do know how to switch those traits and turn them on you in time. You can be the nicest person in the world, but listen, everybody has a breaking point. And if you've been in a toxic relationship, I can promise you, as you know, you will defend the narcissist so many times, and you will keep quiet about a lot of the abuse that's going on. And that's another reason people don't understand, because by the time you break, they think it's just happening, and so there must be something wrong with you. They don't realize that behind closed doors, you've just been trying to keep everything together and make a relationship, whatever that relationship is, work. And you can't do that with a narcissistic person. They aren't reasonable people. They will mock your tears. I've had that happen to me. They don't have empathy. That is the big difference. You can have everybody has narcissistic traits. There's healthy narcissism, and then there's unhealthy narcissism. It's on a spectrum. And so you are going to have some of the traits that the narcissist has, because everybody has narcissistic traits. The biggest indicator of a narcissist is the patterns, the repeated patterns. They will always repeat the same patterns, and they don't have empathy. They're not. That is the biggest thing. They're not going to care if you're crying. They're not going to care about your pleading. They don't care. What they do care about is that it makes them feel good in the fact that you're pleading for them. It's great for the smear campaign, so that they can point the finger at you and call you crazy, so they have an excuse to get out. By the time a narcissist is leaving you, whether it's in a romantic relationship or not, they have replaced you. There is always people kind of in the mix, and we will talk about that, and how I call it the toy box. You know, people are put in the toy box. They're taken back out of the toy box to be played with, back in the toy box. So they always have people in play, but they will find a primary source to replace you with by the time you are discarded. And it is so painful. And so people will say, how can they move? Or you will say, how could they move on so fast? It wasn't so fast. It was already happening. You just didn't realize it. And so, my hair is driving me crazy. It always does. I apologize, everybody, but I am not going to edit this out. We're just going to keep it like it is. So, we're going to talk about all of these things as this channel goes on. But I just want to thank my family and for so much support that they've given me over the years. And believe me, there's been so many times they did not understand, and now they do, and they're so supportive and have been there for me, and they're supporting this channel. I want to thank my friends who have stood by me and cheered me on. I want to thank everybody, because this is really not easy for me. I have a big personality, but I am, I guess, what you call an ambivert. So I feel like I'm more introverted, but most people outside see the extroverted part of me. It is, yeah. So it's not really easy for me, and we will talk about all of that as we go too. I'm going to end on this note, but welcome. Welcome. You're not alone, and I really do care about you. I really do. I care a lot. I might cry on this channel sometimes. Yeah, and I might now. So I think I'm going to go now. Until next time, I look so forward to this. We're going to journey together. You're going to get better, I promise. Until next time.